All right. Welcome back to our session today. We'll continue with where we stopped last lesson, which was yesterday. We stopped yesterday at basic command line where we had Falalu, who took us through the command line basics. The main purpose for the command line is to allow us to use an alternative way to navigate through your computer. So command line allow you to do data science faster than GUI, graphical user interface. We all know that if you want to go to a folder, you need to click a folder. Just give you an example. If in your computer you have a folder, and inside that folder you have 100 folders inside that a single folder. So going through each folder, you need to click. It will take you 100 times to do one click, right? But with command line, a single command line allow you to go to the last folder inside that folder. So that's why yesterday's session, Falalu explained one of the things command line allow you for speed and also automation. So you can automate other stuff and many other features that allow us. So the reason why we discuss command line is that today using Git and GitHub, we may be able to see some usage of command line. So without much further ado, we'll dive in today into Git and GitHub, and Falalu will tell us what are Gits and what can be used. I already shared this one yesterday. We have the recordings for the Git and GitHub from Dr. Idris last year. You can watch it. But we will also add a recording for Falalu for today after this session. So always, for example, last year, we have the recording from Dr. Idris here, and yesterday recording is here. So we adding more recording because things changes and we may have some update, and that's why. And hopefully after today, next week, we will be able to cover this last part of it. Saturday we'll be able to do virtual environment and VS Code, and Sunday next week we'll be able to cover this. Yeah. So without much further ado, I will ask Falalu to share his screen so that we can start the session. Falalu, are you around?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay. So Falalu will take us through the setup Git, for example, how to install Git, how to use GitHub and other stuff. But I believe we already, for example, installed Git where we downloaded GitHub desktops. It automatically installed, but Falalu will take us over. All right, take Falalu over to you. And as I said, if you have any question, please ask your question in our Telegram channel. We'll be able to respond. Thank you.
Okay, let me share my screen. So can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, so today we are going to build up on what we have already covered. I know that every one of you has successfully installed Git on his system, and you also have VS Code installed as well. So we are going to just go straight to the point. So first of all, as you can see, we need to understand Git and GitHub. So GitHub is built upon Git. So it's just like a software built using Git technology. So let's start by creating GitHub account. So to create GitHub account, what you just need to do, you just need to go to your browser. Let's go here and you type github.com and press enter. Once you are here, you will see sign up here. If you already have account, what you just need to do is just to sign in, as everyone knows. So I will just go ahead and click on sign up. So when you click on sign up, this is what you will see first. You use your email. whatever email you have, you can just use it here because they are going to send some codes that you can use to keep setting up your account. So you type your email here. So let me use one of, I already have account, but let's just use one of my email here. So you see this email you have provided is already associated with another account. So I think all of my emails are already associated with other accounts. So let me use Abdullahi, the email of my son. I think it is like this at gmail.com. So after putting your email, then you have to put a password. You have to choose a password. So you are advised to use a stronger password so that your account gets secured. Make sure it is at least 15 characters or at least 8, including number and lower case later. So this makes your password very strong when you use this kind of combination. So make sure that you input a string that you can remember because you will be asked. Sometimes you may be asked to secure account using two-factor authentication. So you have to use maybe your phone, just like me when I'm about to log in. So I have to use my phone so that I can proceed to log in. So let me put one password. So, so you see my password is strong, so I can just continue. So I should enter a username. So here you can choose a username that suits your mind. So I can call it so you will see, you will instantly see the GitHub system will go and scan all the usernames so that you will not have conflict with the other usernames. So if it is available, you will see. If it is not, you have to change a username that will be suitable for you. So you just click on continue. So this, you can check this to receive occasional product updates if you want. If you don't want, you can just leave it. So this is just like promotion and ads. So I click on this. So once you click on this, you will see welcome to GitHub. Let's begin the adventure. So verify your account. So verify. So protecting your account, please solve this puzzle. So I will just click on this to verify that it is not robot that is registering this account because we now have uh, uh, a situation whereby a robot can register thousands of accounts in a matter of seconds. So they need to verify whether I'm human or robot. So I'll just click on verify. So this is what you will see. You say use arrow to rotate the object to face in the direction of the hand. So these are the arrows. So the direction of the hand is to the right. So I can click on this. So you see, I click. So now is the direction, yes. So I can just submit. Now done. Then second, the account belongs to my kid. So he has the password. So I don't have the password. So when you visit the email, you will see some codes that you will type here. Once you type, then you will be allowed to proceed. So do we all understood? Once you have this, when you type the code, then you will be taken to your dashboard, GitHub dashboard. So let me save it so that he can continue with his account. So any question before we proceed?
Yeah, so okay, so let me just make one more point. Falalu.
Okay.
So now
yes.
we have seen how to install Git. Okay, I mean register for GitHub. Before we continue, somebody may ask, okay, now why do we need Git and GitHub? Why are we using them? What is their purpose, right? Let me share a simple example just to motivate this stuff. So, for example,
Okay.
you see my account, my my screen?
Not yet.
Yes, sir, we can see.
You can see?
You can
Let
see,
me
sir.
stop sharing.
Okay, we can see now version control.
Oh,
That's
okay.
your-
No, you don't
your
need to
screen?
stop Falalu. The moment I resume, so you can continue.
Okay.
The version control, this is your screen.
Yes, okay. Now, do you remember when you write document like a Microsoft or PowerPoint, you name it, for example, this is to do number 1, but when you modify it, you say to do number 2. When you modify it, you say to do number 3. When you modify it, you say to do number 4. For example, if you are writing your project, you write version 1, version 2, version. You will end off in your computer, you have like version 10 or version something. Does that ring a bell to you?
Yeah, there may be confusion or something like that.
Yeah. So if
Exactly.
it is difficult sometimes, for example, if I write my original and do some modification, I name it to do number 2. I do some modification, I name it to do number 3. But sometimes you want to make changes here, you forgot you are in to do number 3, you went and do in to do. Sometimes you may forget to do in to do number 2. So you can see it will be confusing to manage multiple versions of your document. If you have like version 10, version 20, different versions, so it's difficult to manage this. That is where what we have Git comes into play in computers. So now the question is, can computer system help us to solve this problem where we manually name our files version 1, version 2, up to version 1 million? Where can computer allow us, okay, let us work on one document, and every time I want to save version, I will save it with, I save version N, and I continue working on it. I don't need to rename it. I will just continue working on it. I say version X. When I continue working, I say version X, P. But can computer allow us to recover the version 2, version 3 without renaming them? That is the purpose, what we call version control system, which is called Git. So this is it. Git is a distributed version control system. What it does, it just take what we call snapshot of the file, of your file, and store it. So you can see, for example, now here, I have file 1, file 2, up to file 1 million. So if I have file 1 million, you'll be able to commit them on your computer. You can see you have your file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4. But you can ask your computer, give me file N, file particular number, and it will retrieve. So this is the idea of what we call Git. It's just a way to store snapshot of your file system. So if this is your computer called workspace, you can submit or store the current file you are working on in what we call staging area. This staging area allows you to store your item. If you want to modify it, and you can continue modify it. But if you finish modifying it, you can now store it, what we call commit. All this detail file will take us, but I just feel like
Sorry, sir, we can't see what you're describing on your screen, sir.
Oh, what can you see on my screen now?
I don't know. There's like a Git overview.
You will see
Down to local
there's a two
repository.
There is 2 screens.
choose the second screen.
No, there's only one screen I can see from my end.
There's
Yes,
a
we are
second
seeing
screen.
Falalu's screen.
It starts with Git overview to local repository.
It is two screen.
Okay, so the screen we
Mr.
can
Falalu's screen and your
the
screen.
screen we can
Okay.
see from our end is having
Falalu,
a
can you
different.
remove your screen?
No, they can switch to other screen.
Falalu, are you there?
I've already turned up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
Stop sharing.
Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. We can see it now.
Yes,
Okay.
can see now.
So what I was saying is, okay, let me go back again. Okay, so what I'm saying, I don't know if I explained this one, if you understand this. So what I was saying is, we typically write file system in our computer. We say we save it like version 1. And here you can see we have another one, version 2. We have version 3, and we have version 4. You can be having saving your file with version 1, version 2, version 3, up to version N. But sometimes you may be confused. You want to make changes on the latest version, but you make changes in another version or this version, which makes the file system, or you lose the update you're supposed to have here. And this is a poor version control system or poor way to manage the same file. So now we have what is called Git. Git is a way to manage the same version of a stuff, the same version of your file on your computer, even if you make some changes. So for example, I have a version, I have a file today, and then I do modification on this file. Now you can save that file, and now when you come back tomorrow, you do another one. So for example, if today I work on a particular file, I will save it, commit it in my version control. Tomorrow, if I add other stuff, for example, here I store some file 1, file 2. Tomorrow I make some addition, I make file 3. Next tomorrow I add something in a new file 4. So what this means is that if I have my file 1 here and I write 2 things, tomorrow I have my another file and I added 3. Next tomorrow I have this, I added 4. Now you don't need to save it with different names to do 1, to do 2, to do 3. No, you can just do what we are saying called commit, as Dr. Falu will show us. Commit. You are saving it, and you can revert, go back to original version. So in this one here, you can see you have different 4 versions. If you want to go back to the original version, you save, because you save it with different name, you can commit. But here you don't need to save them with different names. All you need is just tell your computer, store this one. I will come back to it. That is what we call commit. So you can see this one may actually allow us to effectively manage our file system on our computer without the need to do that. So that's what is called Git store snapshots of your file system on your computer memory. So we have some stuff called staging area and local repository, but GitHub. So Git allow us to store our version of computer on local computer, on your computer. But what about if you want to store version of your files on remote computer, on internet? That is where we have what is called GitHub. Git plus hub, which is a hub where you can store your versions of your files remotely. It is a hub, like kind of hub. So this is where Dr. Falalu is taking us through now that you discuss. And don't forget, last week we installed what is called GitHub Desktop. So when you install GitHub Desktop, it automatically installs Git on your computer. Remember, we installed GitHub Desktop. So that GitHub Desktop install this, what is called Git on your computer, this Git system. If you, in your computer, normally you don't have Git installed, but now everyone that install GitHub Desktop now install Git on your computer. So you can be able to use the Git powerful system to track or manage your files on your computer. Yeah, so that's it. James William, you have question asked, so Falalu will talk about. James William, go on.
Yes, yeah, thank you for walking us through the usefulness of GitHub and Git. Although I couldn't catch up with the last week's class. Please, could you and so from what I've gotten so far, it means if we write different version of things on our computer, most times it's hard to track. And
Mhm.
so we name it in different ways, which may not follow through. And to
Mhm.
recall where our last update is may also be very difficult. But this
Mhm.
particular application, the Git itself, helps us to track through all the different
Yes.
updates
Yes.
we've done on a particular project.
Yes.
And GitHub is also like a cloud of that Git.
Yes.
I'm sure
Perfect.
that's what you're trying to explain, sir.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, go on.
Thank you, sir.
So
So, but I don't even know what Git looks like. I don't even know
yeah,
what
it's not
Git
something
looks
that
like.
you will see.
I
It's
don't
not.
have it installed on my system.
So we as I said last week, we installed GitHub desktop, and that GitHub desktop that everyone installed automatically installed the Git software on our computer. So it's not something that you will open to see it. No. So it's something that you type in your terminal, which Dr. Falal will show us now how the Git work on our terminal. If you don't install Git, then the command Falal will walk us through today will not work on your computer. So the prerequisite is to make sure you install that GitHub desktop. Yeah. Falal, we can continue.
Okay, so I'm trying to say, if I could, is this something I can easily install so I'll be able to follow through in the class?
Yes, you can
my
check.
terminal.
So the thing is, please make sure if you don't attend our previous class, you watch all maybe the recordings so that you'll have smooth, following the next session. Because now you can see what we did previously is prerequisite today. And when you're asking and interrupting that you haven't done it, so it will, prolonging the session. So I hope next time, for example, you watch the recordings, but if you are asking something current that you don't understand, that will make the learning easier. But if you are asking something that you missed, you didn't attend, it will delay the progress. You know what I mean? So I will share the link for the GitHub desktop now in the chat. You'll be able to download it and install it on your computer. Does that make sense, James?
All right. Thank you. That'll be fine.
Thank you very much.
That'll be fine, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Falalu, over to you.
Okay, now we have seen how to sign off if you don't have account. So if you have account, what you just need to do is to sign in. So we have followed the link to that will take us to GitHub website, which is github.com, and we have successfully registered an account. So you can follow these tips for creating usernames. So we have already chosen usernames. So you have to use good usernames so that it shouldn't be that long. It should be as short as possible, and it should reflect your company or your name. So that is good name in short. But you can follow this link. I have already shared it in the chat so that you can follow the link and see. So now the second step is to configure Git. So last week we've shown how to download Git. So you can do it in two ways. Either you can download desktop, or you can download just Git. So let's see. I think I have already downloaded that. So this is the Git. Can you see my screen? So this is the Git. You can download it, or you can download GitHub desktop. So you just go to Google and type Git download and press enter. So this is the first thing that you can see. You just click on it. Then if your OS is Mac, you click on this. If it is Windows, it's already there. The system already detects your system. So you will automatically see it here. You just click on download, then it will take you to download. I've already downloaded that, so I don't need to re-download it. So you can install this one and make sure that it is you tick that added to fast so that it can be seen anywhere in your system. Then you can also download this one, and this one can automatically install Git for you. So let's see. So when you double click, we demonstrated that last week. So let me repeat it a bit. So this is how the interface is. So when you double click, this is what you'll see. So GitHub desktop is being install. It will launch once it is done. So once it launches, what it does is it will ask you your username and the email and password. So when you impute, then there is no need to ask you again. So this is it. So this is how the interface is. So you see, it's already fetching because I already have it. So I don't need to do anything. So
Falalu, what you mean is we can install Git in 2 ways. Is that right?
Yes. So we can install it in 2 ways using this, or you can install it in another way. You can use command line interface, command line command to install it. So once you install, this is how it works. So we are going to see how to clone repository, add local repository, but that one should be online first before we come here. So let's keep going. This is how you configure your Git. Now, when you install the Git or the desktop version of the Git, then once you successfully install, what you just need to do, you have to verify whether the Git is in your path. So to do that, you have to go to this command prompt, that is CMD. We all know how to open this. You just need to click start, then you type CMD, or you press Windows R, then you type CMD, then this one will come up. So to know whether your Git, you can use Git in your system. You can install it, but you can't use it because it is not registered on your path. So to know what is registered on your path, you can use echo, then $path, but we have already done that. So we don't need to repeat. So you type Git and press enter. Or if you want to know the version at the same time, you can type this and this and press enter. So it will tell you the version of your Git. Or if you like, you can type this one, you put dash dash, then you put version the same way. Sorry. So this one is better because it works on every terminal. So it can work on Windows, it can work on Mac, it also works on Linux. So that's a better way. Just type git dash dash, then version. It will tell you the version of your Git. So this is very important. So if you are using Linux, you will not see this .windows.1. You will just see this Git version dot this version number. So this is how to make sure that you have Git registered in your path. So let's move on. So when you do that, you have to configure your Git such that your system, your local system, can communicate with the GitHub on the cloud. So how do you do that? So this is how to go about it. First, you can ask yourself, maybe you have done it in the past, but you are not sure whether you have done it. So we need you need this command. Maybe you can type git, then you type config. So we will be using this config a lot when configuring our environment. So you type this git config, then you put dash dash, then you put list, because you need the list of whether you have the settings, then you put show, then dash origin. So you press enter. If you see, yes, so I have already set my environment, so I have almost everything. As you can see, I have this username and I have email. So if you have not done so, what you just need to do is I'm pressing up arrow. So I have this config, as you can see from this, these are global variables, so that it can be seen everywhere. So you type this, then you type global. Then you type user dot, then name. You can start with name, or you can start with the email. That is no different. You are just, this is just like, if you are into object-oriented programming, this is just like the object, then this is just like the property. So we are setting this name property to your name. So how do you know your name? So you have to go to the GitHub. If you can't remember, you sign in. When you sign in, so let me sign in with this account. So when I click on this, so I have to use, okay, yeah, I can use my
Hello, it seems Falalu is hooked. Maybe his internet. Maybe Falalu's internet is so. What Falalu is trying to show us now is after you install Git, you need to verify and set up your Git on your computer. After you install Git, the next step is to verify and set up your Git on your computer. That's what Falalu is showing us. I don't know, his internet maybe is faulty. Let's see if he is not back. I can take over. Yeah, so let me share my screen again. Okay, can you see my screen? Right. So what Falalu, so you can see here, you create a GitHub because previously we installed Git. You can come to this website, download Git and install it, or you can install GitHub Desktop. So GitHub Desktop, when you install it, it will automatically install Git. But another option is to download Git on itself only. Now, after you downloaded Git, Falalu show us how to create a GitHub. Now, the Git you install allow you to manage a version system on your computer, but you cannot just go and start managing version control system on your computer. You must set it up. How can you set up version control on your computer, your version control? Let me see, Falalu, if you see around. Okay, it's not yet around. Okay, let me share my screen so that I can share you. Just give me a second. The reason why I wanted Falalu to share. Falalu, are you back? I'm using Mac and my computer is different from all of you. If I'm doing something, you see something different from your own computer, which may make it confusing, but we'll have no option. All right, so let me share my VS Code to show you. All right, can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Okay. All right, let me share again. What about now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
we
can
can
see
see
it.
it.
Yes, you
Okay.
can see.
Okay. Right. So um so what Falalu open was terminal showing you how to set up your environment. But I want to tell you that you can also use, oh, my screen is blurry. All right. Can you see the screen now? Okay.
No, it was before, but now it's clear. Before it was blurry, but now
Fine
it's
now.
clear.
It's clear.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's clear now.
Okay. So now for some of you that have already installed VS Code, you can use terminal. So go to here, file. You can use any option. You can do multiple things with your computer. But for me, I don't usually open my terminal, the command line. All I do is I go to, my terminal. So if you open your VS Code, you can come to terminal. You can say new terminal. Can you see that? New terminal. When you say new terminal, it may allow you to, select where you, okay, for you, it will just open for you or to allow you, because I have multiple projects. So I have that. So you can see here is the same as terminal that Falalu is teaching you. So VS Code has terminal in it. You can see my VS Code, but you can see it has some. So this is one of the advantage of VS Code. Now you don't need to go and open your terminal. You can do everything within your VS Code. So you can see, for example, I have my files and I have my terminal. Here, my terminal, I just put it up here. So this is how we do. So when you are doing programming, typically put your terminal here, but we'll discuss more about the VS Code next week. But just now, today, we want to keep going on our Git setup. So this is it. So I said, when you install Git, it will not work as you expected. You must configure it. What does that mean when I say you configure it? You must give, for example, the email address and also your name, so that whenever you save a file, I told you that Git is a way to track version of your computer. So whenever you save your file on your computer, it will attach the username with that file, so it know you are the one. So that is why you need to do that. So this is a command. You can see put git config -global user email, then you put your email, git config global username, and you put your username. So let's go, everyone, let's open our Git terminal. Everyone, open your terminal. Try to do that. We can walk you through little by little until you, do that. Open your terminal. Type the command to install your Git. Let me open this.
Sorry, which terminal?
All right, which terminal? Okay. Which terminal? So do you have your so I say you can use your terminal or CMD, anyone. If you are using CMD, the reason why I don't have CMD here on my computer, because I'm using Mac. That's why Falalu was showing you CMD. So that's one way to go through that, open this black environment. But if you have VS Code, you can open here terminal, you can say new, it will open something black like this. So you can open in any way. When you work on each one, it is the same thing. I don't know if this makes sense. Does this make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So now when you open your terminal, as Falalu said, to make sure to see whether you have Git installed on your computer, just type Git. Here, when I put this clear, I'm clearing everything on my screen. So type Git. When you type Git and press enter, Git press enter. When you see this, then it means Git is installed successfully on your computer. But when you see something Git is not recognized, that is telling you that Git is not installed on your computer. So what can you do if Git is not installed? Quickly go to where you can download Git. This is where you can download Git, download it and install on your computer. So do we all check if Git is installed on our computer? I want us to move together. Quickly check and see if it is okay. Then we can move faster, all of us together.
Can you
It's okay for me.
can you quickly revise the thing that you have done? Because I'm finding it confused. Because I've already downloaded the Git and also follow your command, and I also inputted the enter button, and still it's not running.
Which one is not running?
after like I installed the Git desktop also, so I entered the VS Code and enter git.enter, and it's not showing me that been
Oh, what
installed.
is telling you?
Like it's telling me something error there. I couldn't comprehend the thing.
So
Put the
I
error
think I have
in
the
the,
same problem. I think I have the same problem with him. And what I'm saying is Git is not recognized as an internal or external command.
Yes.
okay. And you only install the Git. So maybe what I can say, maybe,
Yeah, I installed GitHub desktop.
okay. And did you install Git?
No. It was just
So maybe
GitHub.
try to install the Git separately. Let's see if this problem persists. Try to install the Git separately, please.
Okay.
It will work. Try, maybe, hopefully try to
Sir,
do. Yes.
Alyssa,
Yes.
what we Alyssa,
Yes, go on.
so what will it be that we install extension of Linux in our system on our Visual Studio?
Yes.
How can you open the terminal on it?
Yeah, so for people that install that, that's why I don't have that you install the WSL, you can open what is called bash. My computer, because I told you I'm using Mac, I don't have that. You can open WSL. I don't know how to do that on Windows, but what I'm saying here is that even if you install that, don't worry. Just if you have VS Code, go here and open terminal. Just work on your terminal on VS Code. It's enough.
Okay, so but when I write Git, it was writing some write-ups, which I don't really understand.
Okay, what does it write when you type Git and install? Press enter. Okay, so what we can do is maybe we can set up, we can, make sure that everyone is carried along. If you have any issue, does anyone has Git installed when he type Git? Does anyone see some of this? You may not see something similar to this because my computer is different.
Yes.
If it is showing something, you install, type yes in the chat. Type yes in the chat. If you Git is showing installed on your computer, type yes so that we can know people. Okay, we have yes. Okay, we have more yes. Okay, yes, we have yes, a lot of yes, I can see. So if you have any issue, you can stay, we can, as I said, I told you previously, in ITO, in data science, if you have any issue, remember, we here, we will not teach you everything. You need to learn how to solve problem. So when you have any error that resulted in your Git, copy that error and paste in chat in Google. You'll be able to see that solution has been solved. So what you need to do whenever you have an error, before you ask question, paste that error in Google. And see, you may likely see where the error is solved. So let's move on. So let's set up our Git. Copy this, Git config this, and this, and type your email in the chat in the terminal. So I can do this. Can you see that? Everyone should do this. Git config -- global user email. Then you put comma and put this and put enter. Do that. Everyone do this. When you do this, the next thing you do, I already did that. I don't need to do it again. So you type this again, git config global username, that user, and put. So remember this one is in double quote, right? So that's what you do. So try quickly to make sure that you set up your Git email and Git username. All right. Now, if we set up our username and email, how can we check their Okay, so if you set up to make sure that everything is set up, you can type git config username. Can you see my name comes up? It means my Git username is Shamsuddin Muhammad. Can you see that? Git config username. So if you type git config username, you should be able to see your username that you set up. Type that one and see. When you do that, to make sure that, for example, your email also is set up, what you need to do is you can type git config email. You can see this is my email. So that means your Git setup is done. Yes, you can use your email that you use already in GitHub and username, or anyone you can use. You can use separate one. Exactly. So somebody was asking, telling us we can also use ChatGPT to resolve the issue. Yes, exactly. So in fact, right now, a lot of problem when I have, I just go to ChatGPT and ChatGPT. So if you have any issue, go to ChatGPT. Also, you can ask it, and you can. So now, let's assume everyone set up his GitHub username and GitHub, email. Now, as I said, we have two things. We have what is called Git, and we have what is called GitHub. Git is something that allows us to manage version control or version system on our local computer. So you can use Git on your computer to manage files, to manage versions. But when you are collaborating with other people, multiple over the internet, and you want to store your version control, you manage your files over the internet, so that, for example, when you lost your computer, all your version files are on the internet, you haven't lost them, then that is why we use GitHub. So there are two things, Git and GitHub, two things. Remember, as I said, Git and GitHub. So I share one article here in the chat. What is Git and versus GitHub? What is the difference between the two? So you'll be able to see, the difference. It's a free, highly qualified distributed bash system suitable for tracking modification in source code software development. So there are a lot of what is GitHub. It's a web-based Git repository. Can you see that? Web-based. So Git is a local, something on your computer that you can use that. But GitHub is a web-based if you want to take that one. So I believe the next thing is we created a GitHub account, which Falalu took us. Now, how can we now create repository in GitHub? So the first thing you can see here, we are going to use is to create a repository. So what is repository? Now, if you hear me saying repository, let me do this again. If you hear me or anybody says repository, so in machine learning or data science, when we say repository, this is a repository. Some people call it repo, or you hear somebody say repo, like this, repo or repository. So this is called repo or repository, meaning somewhere on the internet where you store your document or files is called repo or repository, right? A repo, maybe on our local computer, we can say a folder, but in the lingo for data scientists, and we call this one repository. Now, how can you as now somebody that you want to take your next step of learning, how can you create this repository? So that's what we want to see here, because you will be submitting your assignment to GitHub repository. So log into your GitHub, which we already show you how to log in. Now go to step 2, create a new repository. How can I create a new repository? Can you see my GitHub account here? If you already created, can you see something like this? Here, plus, can you see new repository? So I need to create this new repository. Can you see I create new repository? Now you choose the owner. If I'm the owner, Shamsuddin, my GitHub account, I choose. Then type the repository. I can say RODS sample repo. This is my repository. So type the description of the repository, meaning type what you want to do. This repo is for teaching Python for data science, right? So this is description. This one are optional, you can skip it. But you can also want to make your repository public or private. What is the meaning of public repository or private? So if you and your friend, you are doing some research that you are working to submit a paper or a company, you don't want other people to see your code, your documents, then you can make repository private. But if you don't care, like something our RODS repository is public, we make it public. So you click this public, you leave it like this. And you can say add a README, which can add the README, for example, description of what the repository does. You can click this one. Right. So,
sorry, sir.
Yes, go on.
Yes, sir. Did you log into the GitHub using the desktop app, or you log in using?
No. I went to I went to GitHub online. GitHub. Go to GitHub.
Oh, okay.
You want to GitHub
right.
page. GitHub page. I want to GitHub and then create my, and because I already registered, so when you already register, you can do this thing. Yeah. So you go to your GitHub that you create online, not on the desktop, online. So you create this new repository. When you create that, put the name of the repository. For example, this is the name of the repository we created here. This one, can you see the name of the repository? Python programming, right? Python program. This is the name of the repository here we have. Python. For example, this one, what is the name of this repository? SAMable 2025 tax 11. That is the name of the repository. So this is what you see, the name of the repository. But this one is the name of the account, right? This is the name of the account. So for example, let me show you another example. Let me show you maybe one of my repository, for example, my profile. So for example, this is one of my repository. You can see the name of the repository is Nigersanti, but my username is here. So this is what you'll be seeing as the repository. So let me continue with that. Yes, repository can be created in GitHub graphical user interface. Yes. I think Falali will show that. So yeah, if you are following me, you create a new repository, and then let me go to the details. Where was I creating? I have not deleted what I was creating. Anyway, I think I deleted the repository I was creating. Anyway, by the way, so let's go again. New repository, right? We create new repository. I'm the owner, Shamsuddin. Type the name of the RODS testing. Then type the optional description. This is repository. This is repository for learning. We make it public. You can add a README. So README allow you to make, to explain more about the project. When you add README, you can create repository. Can you see this create? Then you type create repository. When you create a repository, so you can see I create a repository. Can you see RODS testing, my username, and you can see the repository. So because you click add README, that is why you have this README. So now we are happy. We have our GitHub repository. You can now click here and start editing the repository. For example, I can make this capital. This is a repository for learning. I can type something like this. This is this. Welcome to my repository, to my repo. Can you see that? I'm learning from Ariwa DS. Can you see that? So when you finish making your repository, then you can make what we call commit changes. Commit. Can you see this commit? So just like the way I told you in creating multiple files, when I commit changes, you click here, commit changes, and type description of the changes you made. I added 2 lines. So this is just description of change. So if you want to go back to this commit, this saving, then you can know where you are. So you can say commit. So when I commit, you can see now this is my repository. I added 2 things, right? Now, just to recap, what we did is basically we create a repository. We click the plus sign here. You can see the plus sign here, the plus sign we use. And then we create the repository. You can create the repository either private or public. And then you can see the steps. Here we give an example if you want to create a private repository, and then you create repository. Anyone with question about creating repository? Anyone with question about create a repository?
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask. So,
sir, when changing the name of the repository, is it mean committing?
When changing the name of repository?
When I want to change the name of the repository.
Yes, you can change.
Yeah.
So if you want to change the name of the repository, we can come together. We can come. So this.
Do you get the question, sir?
You say you want to change the name of the repository. Is that correct?
Yeah. I was asking about committing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just
so
like saving.
Yeah. So committing. So for example, you remember on your folder when you create a file, right? When you create a file, you save it, right? And when you make changes, you save, right? You save. So for example, here I want to make changes. I can type this, another changes, right? Second changes. So in your computer, when you make changes on your computer, you save. So here we do what is called commit changes, means save changes, right? So you say commit, but you can give description of what you do. You can leave it blank as well. For example, I can leave it blank. So I say commit changes. So now I commit changes, you can see I have my file. So this is repository. This repository that you see we have is how we created it. We started with this small and, added more stuff. Are we all good with how we create repository?
No, actually, I'm not following.
Okay, what is that you are confused?
All right, for starters, my Git is still not installed. I tried checking on Google. I'm not following what they're saying there.
Your Git is not installed?
No, but I've installed GitHub desktop.
Okay, so go here. This is Git. Download this Git file and install it on your computer. Hopefully it will work.
Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm asking now is about something that is not, you don't need to have Git. I'm talking about GitHub. GitHub, creating a new repository. Falalu show us how to create a GitHub profile, like GitHub account. Let me see this. Oh, okay. Falalu show us how to create a GitHub account where you use your username and whatsoever. So that's why we use that now to create a repository for that. Is Falalu back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay.
Yes, I had a very serious, deadly network issue.
Okay, no problem. So what I took them is, I just took them, the next thing is creating GitHub new repository. But if you are following, what we will do now is what we call clone repository. Clone repository. Yes, we want to show us how you can clone repository. So what does that mean by clone? Okay. Now, if you create a repository on internet, because this is on internet, how can you bring that folder from internet to your computer? So when you bring it on your computer and you make some changes on your computer, how can you send it back to internet to reflect on internet? So let me give you an example. Now you can see I create this repository on internet. Now, how can I copy it to come onto my computer? Now, after it comes onto my computer and I added some new line and I want those changes to reflect on internet, how can I push from my computer to come over onto the internet so that the changes integrated? So that's what Falalu will show us. Falalu, over to you. Maybe you can use the GitHub desktop and show, and then after GitHub desktop, we can use the timeline to show them.
Okay, sir. Sorry, briefly before he comes in, maybe you explain when to use GitHub desktop and when to use the one on the browser.
They are not mutually exclusive. You can create a repository using desktop, and you can pull it from the web to your local computer. So you can do both. You can either create on your local computer and push it to the cloud, or create from the cloud and pull it to your local computer. Understood?
Yes,
sir.
Okay, now Suppose you are working on a project, or you are just interested on a particular project. Maybe you are doing research, or you are a software engineer. Now you are looking for a project, so that you will just customize the project and maybe submit it to the customer. So what you just need to do, you can just search from the internet. You can just search any project. You can just go to the Google. You type maybe a school management system. Maybe you are looking for school management system. Then you can put GitHub. You can append GitHub. Maybe you can put plus if you want. Maybe the result must come from the GitHub. Then here you see, so we have them here, different projects. So you can choose any of this. Now you see we have a project now. So you can go and read about the README. That's what Dr. Shams was talking about. Every project has README, so this is the README. So if this suits you, what you just need to do, you can clone this project so that you don't need to start afresh. So you can just come without reinventing the wheel. You can click on this link code. You can download it if you just want to work with it independently without using the GitHub. So if you don't want to use GitHub technology, you can just click on this, download this, so that you can just use your local technology to use your WAM and whatever have you, and keep doing the project. And if you want to, you can clone it. To clone it, you can copy this, or just click on this. When you click on this, it's now copied. What you just need to do, you have to go to your, CMD. Let me go to the CMD. So now you can't just clone a repository just like that. You have to create a separate folder for that. So if maybe I want to go to the desktop, you remember what you did yesterday? We are changing the directory. We are going to the desktop. The desktop, I want to create a folder. So I can write what? Make directory, dir. Then maybe I can call it my project. You press enter. Now you have the folder. So to go into the folder, you write cd, then you write what? My project, and press enter. Now you are into this. So you are now your plan or task is to get the replica of that project on the internet. So here, this is where Git comes in. So if you don't have Git, you can't use this Git. So if you have it installed and it is registered on your path, you can type Git, then you type clone. Sorry, you type clone, then you paste that code. You paste it and press enter. If you don't have, I am repeating, if you don't have Git, this will not work. Therefore, you just press enter. When you press enter, you see that cloning. You see now we have it. So let's see whether we have it. Let's go this explorer.exe. So let's see, desktop. We have a folder we just created. It's called what? My project. Yes, my project. So you see the folder we just cloned. This is how you clone a folder. So you may not see this because here I enable hidden items. So this is what you will see. So this is the whole project. So you can continue editing and editing and editing until you have finalized your final project. So now we know how to clone. Any issue here? Any question?
Yes, I have
question
questions,
about cloning? Yes.
I have questions, sir. I want to ask, do you mean you can only clone other projects out there except your own, which has been linked to your own system? So apart from your own that has been linked to your system, you can clone other people's projects if you have their repository address. Or maybe somebody is working on a project and you want to join in that same project. You clone the repository. So does it mean that whatever you do on that on that clone folder would actually automatically reflect in the repository? Or what does cloning mean in this way? Is it that just to copy the file?
Yes, just like what you have said is copying. So now you have your own copy of that project. So if you want to collaborate, there is what we call collaboration. You can collaborate on a project. That's the essence, one of the essence of using the GitHub. So it allows you to collaborate effortlessly on a project. So maybe you are 1,000 people. Maybe there are 1,000 people that share maybe the same motives. They share the same interest. Maybe they want to come up with an open source project that can help African. So to do that, they can create a project on GitHub, and then each one of them can work on that project so that they can come up with a gigantic system. But if you copy someone else's project, it means that you have your own copy of that project. So you can work on it independently. And if you want, you can submit requests so that maybe they are requesting, maybe someone has created, just let's take an example of sklan. Maybe you've seen that there are some issues with sklan. Maybe we have issues with so things, NLP tools, which is absent. So you can create your own, you can copy that, you can clone that repository of sklan, and you design an algorithm for that. Then you can push a request to the original repo so that they can allow you, so that you can match his code with yours, so that it becomes one of your contributions.
Let me add that. So with Git and GitHub, with GitHub or Git, you can do a lot of things, But for this class, because it's too many stuff you can do. For example, there is advanced Git. In advanced Git, we have, for example, how you can, create an issue and other stuff. But we may not cover advanced Git in this. We'll cover the basic, but we'll give also the, where you can learn more about this stuff. But now, as you can see, what we do now, if you look at our curriculum, the basic, the first thing Falal will show us is how can we clone a GitHub repository. That thing that you can clone can be your file repository, can be somebody's repository, anyone, if provided it is public. You remember when I was creating a repository, that is private, that is public. So if a repository is public, you can clone it, bring it in your computer. If it is private, you will not even see it. All right. So now Falal will show us we clone a repository. Falalu, can you clone this repository that I created, the sample one, and bring it to your computer so that we'll be able to show to people the content on our repository? I put it in the chat. Can you clone it?
Okay.
I put it in the chat. In this project, can you clone it? I put in the chat. Clone it so that we will open it and see it on our local computer.
I have a question.
I'm copying.
Yeah, go to your question, please.
Obviously, you just spoke.
Excuse me, sir. Can we clone from a repository to our own GitHub repository, or does it just have to be?
Yes. So yes, we can do that. Falalu will show that, but now Falalu will show us how to clone it to, our local computer first.
Sorry, let me just throw in my question quickly. You just said, obviously, you can only clone repositories that are made public. So if I was to make a repository for any certain reason, would there be any instance where I would make it private?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if a company are creating a software, the repositories they will create should be private, because they don't want people to see their asset, right? Because for example, Microsoft and Google, and maybe ChatGPT, OpenAI, all their repository, the coding, they are using it on GitHub. Like they are because they have over 1,000 people working on the same code, software. So people will make changes on some part, and now when they make changes, they push it. So they will not make it private, public, so that other people will see. So the idea making the GitHub repository private is when you want to work with your team only, you don't want other people to see. In fact, GitHub repository, when you make it private, it is only you'll be able to make it. If you want to make it private and you want to collaborate, you must pay. You cannot use the free version. You can only collaborate on public repository, but you can not collaborate on private. If you want to collaborate and make your repository private, it means you're a company, you don't want other people to see. So you need to subscribe to GitHub paid version.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. You answered my question. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So, Falalu, can you show us how can we clone this repository to our local computer so that we can make changes when we make changes and push the changes so that we'll see the changes reflect on our GitHub here on remote?
Okay, we can do that. So now I am on the page. You can see that this is the name of the repository. Then here is the status. As you can see, the status is public, so everyone can see it. So what you just need to do, you can just click on this. Then you click on this. So now it's copied. So you come to your local system. Maybe you want to clone it here. So what you just need to do, let me repeat this code. I'm lazy. So I'm going to paste it here. Something. I'll just press enter. So now, because there are no much in it, so we only see this. So now the repo has been cloned to my local system. So we can go ahead and see, or if we use dir as we did yesterday, so you can see. So we have it. So we can say cd, then press tab to complete, then I press this. So to see the content, you just
Falalu, I think it's better for us. No. Can you show us the folder in our GUI graphical user interface, not this time, so that people.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Show us after you clone the repository. Show us it on our computer to see live.
So let's see explorer.exe. So let's see it. So here we are. So this is the folder. So look at it here. So this is what we have. We only have the README file. Let me.
Can you open the README for us to see the content?
Okay.
Please, Dr. Paul, please come again.
Okay. What do you want? What's the question?
Like the way you open the folder just now.
I just use Explorer. You can go. You can press Window E.
Okay.
It's something.
Yeah, Falalu is using something new, so just show
Okay, you can press Windows E.
Yeah, you can just go to your computer, normal computer, go to desktop, to the location you clone.
We are going to this, then we have this, my project. So it's something. Because
so now,
we
Falalu, can you open the file, add a new line, and push the changes you make so that we'll see it in the remote repository?
Okay, before I do that,
yes.
Here we are in the folder. So let me use one of the command. Let me use this status, git status. Look at what we have on branch main. Your branch is up to date with origin main, nothing to commit, working tree killing. So now let's go and make some changes. So I right click, I'm opening with Notepad++. So now this is what we have. So let me add something. What should I add? On the local computer, I am making these changes. So now I want to save. So I'm saving. So now let's come here. Let me repeat the same thing. You see, have you noticed something? Look at the previous. I'm taking the status of this repo that I have just cloned. Here it says that it's up to date with origin main, but here it says the file,
Modified.
this has been modified. And no changes added to commit. So use git add or git commit -a. What's the meaning of this? So as Dr. Shamsuddin shows graphically, whenever you make changes, the changes and you want to maybe move it to the cloud, you want to save it, you have to move it to stage so that it can be saved permanently. Just like what you do when you want to travel to the abroad, you go to the airport, you stay somewhere, then you will be asked to move to the stage, this terminal, then from there you go and take your flight and go. So the same thing applies here. So to add to stage, you use git. Can I continue or you have questions?
Yes, continue, sir.
Okay. Then you put add. Then you may make so many changes. So you can use this add with dot, or you put this and add, which means you are adding these changes to the stage. So you press enter. Sorry, it doesn't work or what? So I should use capital
No,
A.
use just git add dot. It's okay.
Yes, I can use capital A to do that. So I already did it. So I can check my status again. Git status. So you see changes to be committed. So I have already moved this file to stage, you see. So if I want to reverse the changes, I can reverse it using this git restore stage, then the name of the file here, so that these changes I have made will be reversed. The 2 lines I have added here will be reversed automatically. But now I want to commit. So to commit, what you just need to do, you just write git. When you write git, then you write commit, then you write m, that is the main, then you put the comment you want. So added these lines from my local machine. So you just press enter. So you see any question? Any question? So if no question now, what
Yes,
is just
yes,
the
yes,
final
yes,
thing?
yes, please.
Okay, there are questions?
Please.
Yes.
My question, please. Can you
Yes.
hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So please, my question is, this we are doing now, of course, it is not him that created the file on the GitHub, but it's actually him trying to, he copied the file, but after copying the file, now
cloned.
he's now editing it. Once he commits it, does it go to, once he commits it, does it go to the original repo to update?
Yes, so
it?
that's what he would show.
We are going there. We are going there.
We are going there, okay. Now I want to push it I want to push it. So to push it is the cloud. You use git again. Then you use the word push. Then, because we are putting it the origin.
Okay, so she's going to follow us.
Then
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
this. Do you see it? So we
Yes,
press
clear screen.
enter. Now we wait for a bit. So I'm asked to sign in. So let me sign in. I shouldn't be asked to sign in, but let me sign in. Because I didn't make any change to.
Yeah, so in any case, what Falalu shows, even if he tried to push, because it's not on his own computer, it will not automatically update the repository. It will send the repository and create what we call, full request. It is only somebody that create the repository. So for me, let me wait just if you push. I can see like it's not working. Falalu, are you there? Okay, so maybe Falalu is Falalu, are you there? Okay, so let me show us quickly what he does. In very simple stages. See, Falalu, are you there? All right, Falalu is not there. So can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, we can see.
Let me quickly go to the repository. You can see this is a repository we created, right? So what you need to do is click here. When you click here, copy URL. Can you see this URL? Copy it. When I copy it, I want to bring it on my computer. So you come to your terminal. This is a terminal. This is something that Falalu was showing us on his computer is in terminal, but I'm using VS Code terminal. So I can say git clone. Can you see? Type this. Let me just go. Sorry. Let me write it again. I'm deleting. So what you need to do is type git clone and type that what you copy. Can you see? This is a step. Let me show us. So first of all, if you want to clone, you need to move to the folder where you want to store the file you want to clone. Now, here I'm in my repository. Here you can see I'm inside a folder called, Python programming. If this is a folder I want to store the folder, if this is not the folder, I can say CD and put this. So now you can see I'm inside a folder called Git. Now, if I want to store the file I want to clone in this folder called Git, then it is okay. That is why here they show us the step first. CD into the project folder. That is the folder you want to store your file that you want to clone. Now, then this is a step that you clone. Can you see Git clone? And you type the link that I show you here. So now here I can type Git clone, the link to the file, then I type enter. So you can see cloning into this. Can you see that? It clone. Now inside my folder Git, this is a folder on my computer, normal folder, in your computer, normal folders, but we show you, that, you can use terminal because it's faster. Now, if I want to see this repository that I clone, if it is my computer, I can say git, I can say ls, show me the folders on these computers, on this repository. So I can see I will see this folder, Ariwa testing. Where is it? Ariwa. What is the name? Ariwa testing. I want to look at it. I don't want to use terminal to show us.
Look at it by the right here.
Where?
Here. Audio
Yes,
testing.
these are.
Okay.
The right here.
Oh,
Yes.
Can you see the folder?
The fourth line. The fourth line.
Folder.
The fourth
Yes,
line.
so this is just the folder. This Git, I have my Ariwa test. Now I can say CD. I can even enter into the folder Ariwa testing. Ariwa. Ariwa. Can you see when I type Ariwa? Because I have many Ariwa, but when I type, for example, Ariwa, Ariwa DS, something like this, Ariwa DS, and then you can see it's trying to predict. Can you see Ariwa Destin TL? Can you see that one? So I'm inside now Ariwa. So when I say list what is inside Ariwa, can you see it show me is readme? LS means list what is available inside the folder. I can also remember yesterday we used another command called cat to show what is inside the folder. So if I say cat readme, can you see it show me the content? Can you see, remember this command cat means like open in your computer, you need, you need to right click and open it. But when you just put cat and you put the name of the file, it will show you the content inside. So now let me go back again, just to recap, to show us what we are doing. I want to go back to our Git repository. I said for us to clone a repository, we say git clone, and we put this one, and link. It will, yes, it will clone. Now we clone this repository, it is inside our computer. Let's enter into that repository and make changes. When I make changes, I want to push them into that repository so that we make changes. We can see the changes. So let me go inside that folder, CD, RODS, testing, right? You can see my RODS testing, inside it, LS. You can see this is a file, but I want to open this file maybe to make some changes. Let me, where can I want to make sure that you can see the changes I made. Okay, so let me make some changes. Okay, let me just say cat readme. Can you see I have, this is the repo, welcome to my repository. I'm learning another changes, second changes, right? When I say git status, to see if I make some changes, git status, you can see on branch, your main branch is this. I haven't made any changes, but let me go and make some changes so that I will push it. As Fala will show us, but let me not, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Try to clone the repository yourself and see if you can. Let me make some changes and then show you. There you are. Falalu, are you back? Yeah, Falalu is not here. Okay, so let me show you make some changes so that you'll be able to see that. Let me open the file on my computer file, open folder, open a folder called RODS testing on my, can you see my BS code?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so you can see the file, I open it. Don't worry, because you will not be, you don't know how to open the file. Don't worry, we'll see it next week, how to use BS code, but just I want to show you now. The purpose is just to show you how I can make changes. Don't worry if you don't know. So now I make changes, another line. Don't worry if you don't know how to open BS code. Don't worry, next week I'm just want to show you the essence of Git and make the changes we make. So let me open my terminal. Right. Okay, so I'm inside my terminal. So now, because I made some changes, I saved the changes. Let me type git status, We'll see what happened after typing git status. Oh, it's taking me longer. I don't know what's happening. Git status. Yeah, can you see modified? It's now modified, right? So because it's modified, how can we send that? So there are 3 steps. You said git add, you put git add means any changes. This dot means any changes you do, all the file, all changes you made to all files, add them. That is the first one, git add dot. Then you need to do another one, git commit m. Then you have double bracket, then type the description of what you did. Then I can say changes to readme file. changes to README file. That is second one. I put enter. Can you see? It said one file change, and there is 3 insertion because I made 3 insertion. The first thing, don't forget, git add dot. This one will add or stage your file. Then git commit will commit the changes, put the changes. Then the next one is how can we see the changes in our GitHub repository there? So you say git push. Can you see 3 things? Git add. Can you see now it is changing writing and he has sent something? First, don't forget git add, git commit, put the description of the changes you made. Then git push will send that thing. Now, when you see here, it means it finished. Send, and you can see it makes changes. And when I go back to my repository, we'll be able to see that. So you can see here, we stop at second changes, right? Now, when I refresh my GitHub repository, you can see other changes there. Can you see them?
Falalu is back.
Okay. Can you see the changes here? Hello?
Yes, sir. So the repository is not yet open, but we can see it in the VS Code.
It's not open?
The repository, but we can see it in the Git in the VS Code.
What about now?
We can see it now at the repository.
Yo, can you see the changes I made?
Yes.
If you see
2 lines, another line, another line.
Yes, can you see them now? We added them here.
Yes.
Yeah,
so you can see now.
Yes.
So let me make it simple. What we have seen is now today you create a GitHub account and you can be able to create a repository. And when we create a repository, we can be able to clone the repository by clicking here. When you click here, then you go to your terminal. What you need to do in your terminal, you just need to say git clone and type this one. But make sure that you know where your current directory, the current folder you are cloning. So because now I know I'm under Git, which is a folder on my computer, Git, so I know where I'm storing this file, right? Now, when you do this, you can make changes on your file. And now when you make changes on your file, it's three stuff that you can do to push: git add, git commit, and git push. There are many other commands that you can use that relate to GitHub and Git, but I think these are the basic commands that we are interested to do to work us. And now the assignment that we will be able to see, we want you, everyone, is to create a GitHub account, follow the steps there, and create your GitHub repository, and we will give a link where everyone will put the link of its GitHub repository. So this is the assignment for this week, because if we start the Python, all your assignment, you will be doing your assignment and we'll be putting them into GitHub repository. So Falalu, you have an issue with internet today, but
so sorry.
Yes, go on. So now we are done with today's session. If you want to leave, you can leave, but if you have question, you can stay and ask. I will be here to answer your question. So yeah, thank you very much for joining. As I said, if you have question, you can stay. If
okay,
you just,
sir.
we finish today's session. Yes.
So my question is okay. Go ahead, Zoera.
Please raise up your hand first.
Okay,
raise
sir.
off your please raise off your hand first. When you raise off your hand, I can call you so I can answer your question. Okay, Mujahid, can you talk, Mujahid?
You can stop recording so that the video will not be too long.
Oh, okay, yes.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Mujahid, can you talk? Can you ask?